Buenos días y bienvenidos a todos. Welcome, everyone, and good morning. Today is Sunday, July 9th, 2023. Welcome to a community dedicated to providing spiritual tools for living a happy and full life. My name is Karina Scheer, and I am the Spiritual Director and Founding Minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta. If you would like to join us for the live Zoom meeting, please contact me for the link and password, or check out our website, www.cslpv.org, and you'll find the link on the weekly talk section. We are continuing with our annual theme, which is Living Out Loud. And the topic for this month of July is Speaking Truth to Circumstance. Today's topic is Got Me Hypnotized. So at this time, I'd like to once again truly welcome everyone, including those that are new to our teaching and to our center here in Puerto Vallarta, whether you're here on the Zoom call live or watching the replay at a later time. We teach a philosophy and honor all faith traditions. So whatever path you are on, know that you are on the right one for you. And no matter what your background is, please know that everyone is welcome here. And we value each and every one of you. So yes, we teach a philosophy, and it's called the Science of Mind. Excuse me. It's a teaching based on new thought and ancient wisdom. And we offer spiritual tools and principles to promote personal growth. And as I mentioned, we honor diversity in all aspects so that we can see and appreciate the great oneness that already exists everywhere and within everyone. When Dr. Ernest Holmes was asked to provide a concise definition of the Science of Mind teaching, he'd replied that it is a correlation of laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations of religion applied to human needs and aspirations. So each week, we offer a service with an inspirational message. So if you would like to join us in person, please let me know that you are coming so I can arrange for your arrival. And if you would like to have a one-on-one connection for spiritual mind treatment to assist you with emotions or change or whatever you're experiencing in life or would like to experience more of, then please connect with me. And if you would like to commit to being a member of the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta for this current year, or if you would like to be on our board of trustees, please contact me so that you can be sent the current application form. I'd also like to remind you to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page. And if you're interested in learning more about the Science of Mind teaching, we will be starting new courses in September. And we'll have a few interesting workshops offered later this year as well. So check with me or check on our website to find out the details. And please let me know if there's a specific course, workshop, or even a book study that you would be interested in taking. And we can plan dates for those as well. So now let's together review our purpose, vision, and mission statements as we do each week. We have a grand purpose here, and that is to awaken and celebrate diversity and to love and serve our community. This is supported through our vision, creating the life you desire, and further supported by our mission, which is to provide spiritual tools for personal growth and transformation. If you would like more details on any of these, you can find it on our website as well. So it's time to wake up. The alarm is sounding, calling you to a new and more wonderful day. But you gotta wake up. So there's a reboot of the phrase, speaking truth to power. Spirit is the only power. What people really mean when they use this phrase is speaking to control or circumstances. Circumstances are never the truth. Today, we look at how we have accepted the media and cultural conditioning, being hypnotized, so that we can free ourselves from reaction into authentic action. Songwriter Bob Welsh, while he was with the band Fleetwood Mac, wrote a song called Hypnotized. And the last verse closes with this. Now you know it's a meaningless question to ask if those stories are right, because what matters most is the feeling you get when you're hypnotized. Seems like a dream. You got me hypnotized. And Don Miguel Ruiz refers to this as domestication. When people are indoctrinated into adopting a particular belief system. And New Thought refers to it as the collective unconscious, which was originally coined by psychiatrist Carl Jung. And it refers to a shared inherited reservoir of unconscious knowledge and experience that all humans possess. It's believed to be a deeper level of the unconscious mind that contains archetypes, symbols, and universal patterns of human behavior. According to Jung, these collective elements influence our thoughts, feelings, and actions, often without our conscious awareness. It's the collective dream in which we are all so enmeshed that we don't even know it's a dream. All around us, we are being called to wake up. So let us say yes, even if we'd rather stay hypnotized in the dream because it feels so good. John Lennon said, "Living is easy with my eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see." And in The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes said this: to practice the presence of God is to awaken within us the Christ consciousness. So it's said that our entire journey in life is waking up. Like Neo in the Matrix, we are born into a pre-existing dream, a collective agreement about life. This dream is founded on a deep belief in separation from Source, God, the divine, whatever word you choose, separated from ourselves, from each other, and from the planet. And this separation then grows seeds of good, bad, right, wrong, us, them, fear, judging, and so on. These seeds then create desire for control, blame, shame, guilt, heaven, hell, victim, persecutor, rescuer, and so on. Our foundational principles of oneness and the associated practices to establish ourselves in a greater knowing of this principle support us in awakening from that dream. But boy, is it challenging. The journey calls for great compassion for others and ourselves. Ernest Holmes' statement of what we believe from the 1927 Science of Mind magazine reminds us we believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. It's good to keep this in mind as we wade into the crazy house of human life, our own included. Ernest Holmes wrote this: "The resurrection is the death of the belief that we are separated from God. God did not die. What happened was that man awoke to life. The awakening must be on the part of man, since God already is life." So if we recognize that life is a mirror, then the first thing to do is not wrestle with the mirror, but change the source of the reflection. Then we realize not even perceiving the mirror clearly, but looking through our filters. In the book, What's in the Way is the Way, Mary O'Malley uses the analogy of our storyteller. And this storyteller is constantly operating to comment on our life. We experience life through this storyteller, and it's speaking from all its conditioning, its domestication. Motivational speaker Tony Robbins was once asked if it was hard to hypnotize people into a trance state. And he replied, "No, the difficulty was waking them up from the trance state they're already in." So this, then, is our journey to wake up enough to actually experience reality. Before we can change the world out there, we need to understand what the world out there really is. The power of our storyteller comes only from our unwillingness to look at the stories it's telling us, thus seeming to enlarge our fear of what we think is going on. It's so much more comfortable to stay in our rightness than to step back and admit that our perception may not be accurate. If we're going to speak truth to circumstances, the first thing is to clearly see the circumstances. They're usually far more complex than we initially think. And Pema Chodron said, all these trips that we lay on ourselves, the fearing that we're bad and hoping we're good, the identities that we so deeply cling to, the rage, the jealousy, the addictions of all kinds, never touch our basic wealth. They are like clouds that temporarily block the sun, but all the time, our warmth and brilliance are right there. This is who we really are. We are one blink of an eye away from being fully awake. And Ernest Holmes said this: intuitively, we sense that every man in his native state is some part or manifestation of this eternal principle, and that the entire problem of limitation, evil, suffering, and uncertainty is the result of ignorance. So when we encounter people, circumstances, or even organizations that upset us, it's important to step back and recognize that below the surface appearances, we are one. We want the same thing: love. We may have very different ways of trying to get it, but it's what we all want. This is because the infinite presence is love, and we are simply wanting to be aligned with it, no matter how distorted our method is. At the core of most of us are two spells: the belief that I am separate from life and that life is not safe. Out of that, we adopt two methods of operation, trying to control life and trying to do it right, when inevitably life can't be controlled. We make several assumptions. I'm not doing it right enough, therefore I'm wrong, unlovable, and all alone. And if we can understand that all dysfunctional behavior is built on this foundation, we can then begin to support ourselves and others in unraveling the foundation of its corollary structures. We no longer look at people performing dysfunctional behaviors as wrong or evil. Labels our judgment egos want to apply, but instead, we can see people like ourselves doing their best to live and love. Michael Beckwith said this: to the degree that you attune yourself to the vibratory frequencies of love, compassion, truth, discernment, and honesty, a vibration will go forth from you that contributes to the upliftment of your own consciousness and the collective consciousness. To move this understanding beyond just intellectual knowledge, we must begin to heal this structure within us. Knowledge can begin to pop open our closed mental prison, but knowing, integration, allows us to walk our talk. To align with the collective unconsciousness and speak our truth, it's often necessary to engage in inner work and self-reflection. And this involves exploring our own beliefs, biases, and conditioning, as well as understanding the archetypical influences operating within us. By becoming aware of these internal dynamics, we can uncover our authentic voice and discern the difference between conditioned beliefs and genuine truths. Here are four practices to support us in this opening. The first is meditation. Real, deep meditation quiets the mind just enough to let the storyteller, the domestication voices, recede so that we can hear our true self. This is not an overnight process, but takes dedication. Often it's not easy. That long-conditioned ego storyteller doesn't want to give up easily, yet over time, the quietness comes and glimpses of the light of reality show through. The second process is compassionate listening. Listening from curiosity, not just the desire to be right. Listening from our heart, not our position. And listening with wonder, without the need to win an argument or prove someone else wrong. And we know that compassionate listening begins with ourselves. We all get hooked from time to time. Listening to ourselves helps us to see where the real hook lies. As A Course in Miracles reminds us, I'm never upset for the reason I think. And as we create a habit of compassionate listening to ourselves, we find it easier to extend this practice to others. The third process is journaling, and the fourth is contemplation. And these processes can support us in self-discovery and help us connect with our inner wisdom. Albert Einstein said this: a person experiences life as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of consciousness. Our task must be to free ourselves from this self-imposed prison and through compassion to find the reality of oneness. So as we become willing to be aware that we are hypnotized by the collective consciousness, we begin to see that the most important task of our life is to wake up. We can't truly deal with the world issues nor our own personal issues until we at least thin that fog of misperceptions that surround us. And when we stop relating to the world from an us versus them perspective and begin to see that we are all living inside a century-old dream, we can relate to each other differently, more compassionately. When we understand the core desire we all have, love, as well as the core spells that run most of us and influence all of us, we can take a different approach to healing the world within and all around us. We must first heal within. Otherwise, we'll just perpetuate patterns of attack and defense. It is so much easier to attack out there with our belief in self-righteousness. But we have to step back and begin to awaken to the truth that there's no out there. Instead, we must first ground in the truth of our own and other beings. Then we can act in love, which is what we're all wanting. Begin with meditating to clear the fog away. Practice compassionate listening with curiosity for both yourself and others. We must especially practice it with those our egos want to label as enemy. Just love them. And I'll leave you with this quote from Michael Beckwith. To the degree that you attune yourself to the vibratory frequencies of love, compassion, truth, discernment, and honesty, a vibration will go forth from you that contributes to the upliftment of your own consciousness and the collective consciousness. And that leads us to our affirmation for the week. I wake up to the truth of spirit that I am. And now it's our time for giving back where we are spiritually fed. Donations are gratefully received through PayPal or Tithely on our website, www.cslpv.org. You'll find the donate buttons for both PayPal and Tithely on the landing page, as well as on the top of the replay page. Alternatively, you can mail in a paper check if that's your preference. And you can do so by addressing it to CSLPV number 403 2125 Birch Road, Kelowna, BC, V1Y 8N1. And now, if you would like to join me in our offertory affirmation. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I do give eternal thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. So thank you for coming and sharing this time together. And let's continue with practicing peace. We can each be a force for peace and nonviolence. Our words and our actions can create ripples of peace all around us and beyond. Peaceful living includes acting with compassion, kindness, and consideration. and also includes standing up against injustice. So may peace and love be with you. Blessings to all. Namaste.